Okay, let's dive into an absolutely mind-blowing cosmic mystery today. I want you to literally close your eyes and picture a profoundly cinematic scene, like a sweeping, ultra-high-definition shot. It's twilight, and shadows are just starting to fall over the ancient land of Israel. As the landscape darkens, the graves of the righteous begin to emit this soft, pulsing glow. Right in the center of this landscape, picture an ancient, bottomless well filled with pure Torah water. And standing around it are these ethereal women, luminous souls, drawing blinding light from the absolute deepest, most hidden depths. It is a stunning visual of mystical power, and it perfectly sets the stage for our deep dive into the source material today. We are exploring what is, essentially, the ultimate system reboot of humanity.
So, which dead actually rise first and why? You might be wondering how that even works. This profound question springs directly from the ancient wisdom of the Zohar and the incredibly layered texts of the Hessedly Abraham. Now, a lot of people think of resurrection as just, an arbitrary miracle or some wave of a magic wand. But the Kabbalists, they frame the cosmos as this incredibly intricate, highly advanced machine. In this framework, resurrection isn't just magic, it's a precise, systematic process. We're talking about the spiritual equivalent of physics, network connectivity, and data transfer. And today, we're going to reverse engineer exactly how this cosmic mechanism operates.
Here is our system diagnostic screen for today's explainer. 1. The primary server. 2. The activation key. 3. Cosmic engineering. 4. Twilight to dawn. And 5. Multi-gen reboot.
Let's start with Section 1, the primary server.
Now, when we look at the geographical hardware of this cosmic system, the land of Israel, which corresponds to the Sephirot of Malchut, acts as the primary server. According to the sources, souls buried here have the absolute strongest, most direct signal to the divine. They are positioned perfectly under the cosmic altar. Because of this zero-latency connection, tradition dictates that they're the ones who will rise first. Actually, some texts even say 40 years earlier. On the flip side, those buried outside the land, in Chutz La'aretz, face massive signal interference from impure spiritual forces, known as klipot. To receive the resurrection signal, they require a super complex, honestly grueling underground routing process called Gilgul Mehilot. Basically, they are rolling through subterranean tunnels until their signal finally reconnects to that primary server in Israel.
Moving right along to Section 2, the activation key.
Having a flawless connection to the server is awesome, but you still need the right executable files to actually initiate the launch sequence, right? The crucial point here is that those who absorb the waters of Torah during their physical lives already hold the downloaded activation key for this resurrection flow. In these mystical texts, Mayim Sheim, or living waters, isn't just about hydration. It is the absolute highest bandwidth of divine consciousness. It's the Shekhinah itself. If you've spent your life studying and internalizing this spiritual code, your soul already contains the proprietary software required to unpack the resurrection light the exact moment the signal is sent.
Think back to those glowing women at the well from our opening scene. The Zohar teaches us that engaging in Torah draws down a thread of loving kindness, an unbroken stream of code that outlasts physical death. Even resting in the grave, the souls of the righteous are described as whispering Torah, meaning their internal software is still running in the background. They're constantly syncing with the Mayim Sheim, keeping their spiritual hardware perfectly preserved and ready for the reboot.
That brings us to Section 3, cosmic engineering.
To really grasp how the signal gets all the way from the infinite source down to a physical grave, we have to look under the hood at the motherboard of reality. Think of the Sephirot as the ultimate cosmic circuitry. We're looking at 10 interacting dimensions that route soul bandwidth through 4 distinct Kabbalistic worlds, from the highest, most abstract world of emanation all the way down to our dense, physical world of action. The resurrection isn't just something happening in the dirt. It's a massive, synchronized cascade of energy firing simultaneously through every single level of this 10-dimensional grid.
Let's break down the exact sequence of this data flow, because the mechanics are fascinating. The energy initiates in Bina. This is the Great Mother, the ultimate life source and the system's main power supply. From there, it processes through Sephirot, which represents the Torah, the core operating code of the universe. Next, it cascades down as the flowing waters of Chesed, pure, unadulterated loving kindness. That flow is then caught and concentrated by Yesod, acting as the cosmic funnel, or that well we pictured earlier. Finally, Yesod routers this massive, life-giving data stream directly into Malchut, the physical land of Israel, awakening the souls connected to that primary server. I mean, it is just an absolute masterpiece of cosmic engineering.
Up next is Section 4, Twilight to Dawn. So we have to look at the timeline of the system transition across these worlds, because this reboot absolutely does not happen at random. It is tied to a highly specific metaphysical clock. The Zohar goes into incredible depth here, describing the transition of evening to morning as a major cosmic shift. In this mystical framework, evening is associated with strict judgment, with din. It's represented by the deep, dark red of raw, unfiltered physical existence and mortality. But as the clock strikes midnight, there's this profound transition of power, a softening. By the time dawn breaks, that harsh, red judgment has been completely transformed into the blinding, pure white light of mercy, loving kindness, and ultimate resurrection.
This timeline isn't just about the physical sun rising in our sky. It marks the exact moment the metaphysical system updates from a state of judgment and exile to a state of ultimate redemption. Just as those luminous women at the well draw water as the day shifts, the souls draw in this new, perfected white light as the cosmic night finally, permanently ends.
Which leads us to our final part, Section 5, Multi-Gen Reboot.
Let's synthesize all these heavy Sephirotic mechanics into something absolutely anyone can instantly grasp. Because honestly, the beauty of this deep Kabbalistic secret is that it scales to any level of understanding. Whether you view Eretz Yisrael as a primary server with zero network latency, or simply as the ultimate video game respawn point, the ancient mechanics hold perfectly true across generations. Think about it. For the adults, you're managing your spiritual bandwidth, you're minimizing signal interference, and you're downloading the Torah source code. But for the kids, living a righteous life and learning Torah is literally like collecting extra lives and power-ups, so that when the final boss, the Angel of Death, is ultimately defeated, you instantly spawn at the primary safe zone, fully upgraded and ready for the new world. It is the exact same truth. We're just using different interface languages.
The activation key for this cosmic reboot isn't something you can just go out and buy. It's something you actively build through engaging with the living waters of wisdom every single day. So as we wrap up our exploration of the source material today, I want to leave you with this question to ponder. How will you upgrade your own spiritual bandwidth this week? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.